Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morgan Hill. I'm here to announce gun buyback we're going to be having here in Morgan Hill. As you are all aware, the last time we had a gun back was in 2019, and that was in our neighboring city of Gilroy, and it was a great success. Now, one may ask, how do we mark success? Well, if we can save one life, if we can prevent one robbery, that will be a success. So at this time, I want to go ahead and introduce the dignitaries that are here behind me. Starting off with the Santa Clara County, I'm going to ask that Jeff Rosen raise his hand. We also have District Attorney Jeff Rosen. We also have County Supervisors Otto Lee. Is that not? Should I start again?
There we go.
We have Supervisor Otto Lee and also Supervisor Mike Wasserman. And then representing the Gilroy Police Department is Captain Luke Powell. We also have Acting Sheriff Ken Binder. And then today I'd also like to introduce the host city chief, Chief Shane Palsgrove, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Shane Palsgrove. I'm the Morgan Hill Police Chief. I appreciate the media's presence here today to help us promote our upcoming gun buyback event. The event will be held on December 6th at the Outdoor Sports Complex in Morgan Hill from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our South County community is all too familiar with the tragedies created by gun violence. It was such gun violence that led to the city's monument called Everyone's Child. The monument is a symbol of our community's commitment to maintaining a nonviolent environment for our children. Everyone's Child Monument calls our community to action to continue improving and contributing to our efforts on preventative measures and interventions that will keep our youth safe. The gun buyback is intended to help prevent gun-related violence such as accidental deaths, suicides, as well as prevent lost or stolen guns from getting into the hands of criminals. I'm proud and thankful to be hosting this event in partnership with our community and our Santa Clara County leaders and sponsors, specifically Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen, Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors Otto Lee, and Mike Wasserman. I now invite our District Attorney Jeff Rosen up for his remarks.
Thank you very much, Chief, Mr. Mayor, Supervisor Wasserman, Lee, Acting Sheriff Binder. Gun violence is not a distant threat. It's in our county, it's in our cities, and our communities, and it takes many forms. It can be a gang member intent on harming another through a drive-by shooting, and of course, the monument to Everyone's Child illustrates that. It can be a gun trafficker who builds ghost guns and sells them to the highest bidder. It can be an angry, disgruntled employee infuriated with his employer and fellow coworkers. It can be an abuser who points a gun at his victim and threatens to kill her if she reports his ongoing abuse. It can be a curious child who finds an unwanted pistol in a closet and thinks it's a toy. As I stand here today, South County knows the effects of gun violence in its many forms all too well. The pain, the trauma, and the irreparable loss. It has been said that it takes a village to raise a child. It can also be said that it takes a village to keep them safe. From parents and caregivers to neighbors and friends to police officers and prosecutors, we all take the safety of our children and the safety of our community very seriously. We all have a stake in safety, and there are many ways that we can work together to stop gun violence. One way is the reason that we are here today, to highlight the South County gun buyback, which will occur on December 10th, that's next Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Morgan Hill Outdoor Sports Center. We're offering $100 in cash for handguns, rifles, and shotguns, and $200 for assault weapons and ghost guns. We're also looking for unwanted firearms. No questions asked. One less unwanted firearm in our community is one fewer opportunity for a burglar to steal it use it in a crime. It's one less opportunity for that child to explore it with deadly consequences. It's one less opportunity for someone struggling with mental health challenges to use it on themselves. And so while there are many ways to combat gun violence, from prosecution efforts, from gun violence restraining orders, gun buybacks is one important tool that our community has to keep us safe. And so I encourage all of those that have firearms or shotguns or assault weapons that they no longer want to turn them in at the gun buyback next Saturday and receive some cash for Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, District Attorney Rosen. At this time, I'd like to bring up Acting Sheriff Ken Binder.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Ken Bender, and I'm happy to represent the men and women of the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office here this morning. And I can tell you that the Sheriff's Office is very excited to participate in this South County Gun Buyback event sponsored by District 3 Supervisor Otto Lee, District 1 Supervisor Mike Wasserman, and our District Attorney Jeff Rosen, and in collaboration with the men and women of the Morgan Hill Police Department and the Gilroy Police Department. So according to the Center for Disease Control, firearm-related injury and death is a public health concern. So that's why we're doing this morning. In 2020, the CDC reports that there were 45,222 gun-related deaths in the United States. That works out to be approximately 124 deaths every day here in the United States. More than half of those deaths are due to suicide. And the CDC also reports that firearm-related death is among the top 5 causes of death for people aged 1 through 44. So that's why we're doing the gun buyback event here in South County. It's one of several efforts that the leadership in Santa Clara County is doing in order to reduce gun-related violence, suicide, and injury. And I would also like to remind our local county residents that if for some reason you're not able to participate in this year's gun buyback event on December 10th, that the Sheriff's Office has a firearm relinquishment program that operates 365 days a year, and you're able to turn in unwanted firearms anonymously to Sheriff's headquarters or any of our substations, including the one here in South County. No questions asked, and the Sheriff's Office will take the firearms and submit them for destruction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff Binder. At this time, I'd also like to bring up Supervisor Otto Lee.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Supervisor Otto Lee for District 3 for Santa Clara County, and thank you very much for joining us in Morgan Hill this morning. I'm very honored to stand with our District Attorney, our local enforcement once again, to host another gun buyback event for our community. First of all, I want to thank Morgan Hill Mayor, and also our Chief Cosgrove, along with our partner, Gilroy Police Chief Espinoza, and the staff. Of course, our Sheriff's Office, represented by our Acting Sheriff Binder and his staff, and also all our local law enforcement that's supporting this event, including Novitas, that has just completed the last gun buyback program along with Sunnyvale as well. And I also want to thank my colleague, President of our Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Wasserman, for leading and helping us to coordinate this event right here in his jurisdiction in South County. And it really truly has been an honor to serve you these past 2 years for this great efforts that we're doing. Gun violence in America continues to be one of our most challenging and important problems that we have to solve. Our country has become too familiar with this violence, as not a single day has gone by with us hearing about more lives being lost. And how many of these incidents could have been prevented? And Santa Clara County knows all too well the pain and damage that has been caused by gun violence. And that's why we are here today, to try to help our community turn in these unwanted and unneeded firearms to prevent future accidents or violence to occur. We are working to invest in services that promote safety and prevent violence, and we also need to hold these events on an ongoing basis in order to help provide a safe and secure option for our residents to dispose of their unwanted guns. As our population continues to age and gun ownership has been rising, these events provide a trusted solution for the families or individuals that have unwanted firearms in their house. And this is a service that I truly believe that our city and county should be able to provide on an ongoing basis. The data is very clear. Gun violence is ravaging our communities, and that's why the CDC declared gun violence a public health crisis. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for our children. More than half of the gun deaths are now suicides, and the cost of this violence continues to soar. Within Santa Clara County alone, we're spending more than $1.47 billion on this in just 2020. Gun safety and violence prevention must be the top of mind because each action we can take would save life. Unwanted guns in our homes need to be disposed of safely and secure. Our Buyback event in Milpitas back in May was a huge success. Many residents turned in more than 410 firearms, including 7 ghost guns and 14 assault weapons. And my favorite is there was a sawed-off shotgun. I look forward to next week's event right here in South County and continue to work with my colleagues and community leaders to address this issue here in Santa Clara County and hopefully be a natural leader in this fight for other communities to do the same thing. Safety, responsibility of gun ownership is important for every American and for our community. This would help us save lives and prevent harm. And I just want to also do a shout out today to SEMA, our county employee management association, for also committing financial support for these events to help prevent violence. And thank you again for being with us today. And I want to also say thanks to our public health officials and our local enforcement that's working on this every day. Last but not least, I just want to say, for those who need help, we are here for you, our county. Our new mental health hotline, 988, will also connect you with the support and help that you need. And following me, we have my colleague, Board of Supervisors President, Mike Wasserman.
Thank you. And as usual, Supervisor Lee is too modest. It was he that came up with the idea to make this happen and push so hard to make it happen in this calendar year while I was still here to be a part of it. So I thank you, Supervisor Lee, for doing that. I thank you, Mr. Mayor, our police chiefs, the DA, the sheriff, all those represented here today. I'm hitting cleanup. As was mentioned, I'm Mike Wasserman, the current president of the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. And I want to thank and acknowledge the participants and sponsors we have here today. Chief Paulsgrove and the Morgan Hill Police Department, Chief Espinoza and the Gilroy Police Department, the Office of the Santa Clara County Sheriff, District Attorney Jeff Rosen, Supervisor Otto Lee, Morgan Hill Mayor Rich Constantine, County Behavioral Health Services, the Morgan Hill Life and Gilroy Life newspapers, the Gilroy Dispatch, the Morgan Hill Times, the Hollister Freelance, the South County Youth Task Force, and the Public Health Department, particularly Annie Wu. And I especially want to thank Deputy District Attorney Adam Flores for making this all come to fruition. Today's event demonstrates that by working together, we can make our communities safer. I thank the media for being here today to help promote this event. The actual gun buyback is next Saturday. We're hoping for an excellent turnout to make our communities safer. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Supervisor Wasserman. At this time, we'll open it up for questions if any members of the press have any questions for